Time to know the news of the week. I'm Hannah Tabios. This is the MB Rundown. Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana is calling for a formal investigation into the alleged collision between a Chinese vessel and a Filipino fishing boat near Recto Bank in the West Philippine Sea last Sunday evening. Lorenzana revealed the incident on Independence Day, denouncing the actions of the Chinese vessel who immediately fled after the incident, abandoning the 22 Filipino fishermen on board their sunken boat. He said it's not the kind of action expected from a responsible and friendly people. Lorenzana also thanked the captain and the crew of a nearby Vietnamese vessel who rescued the Filipino crewmen who are now in stable condition. The Armed Forces of the Philippines likened the incident to a hit-and-run case. Some lawmakers, including Vice President Robredo, also called for a probe. Meanwhile, Foreign Affairs Secretary Teodoro Locsin Jr. said in a tweet on Thursday that he already fired a diplomatic protest over the ship ramming incident. Vice President Robredo led the Independence Day celebration at the Rizal Monument in Luneta on Wednesday. This was the third time that a country's second top official graced the event without President Duterte, who attended the 121st anniversary of the Philippine independence in Lanao del Sur. She also asked the public to fight for equal opportunities.
Sa pagtutulak ng interes na ito, inako natin ang responsibilidad na gumawa ng isang lipunang malaya, makatarungan at makatao. Isang lipunan kung saan ang bawat Pilipino ay may oportunidad na mabuhay ng sagana at mapayapa.
Robredo said Filipinos should draw inspiration from our heroes. President Duterte also urged Filipinos to work for a truly independent Philippines in an official message released by Malacanang. Various activities were also conducted nationwide to mark Independence Day. One of them was the Labor Department's Independence Day Job Fair, which offered around 70,000 local and overseas jobs. The National Bureau of Investigation, or NBI, has started its probe into the alleged scam involving a healthcare center that has been claiming benefits for dead or non-existent patients from the state insurance fund, PhilHealth. The investigation came after President Rodrigo Duterte's directive to have a full-scale investigation on the agency's estimated 154 billion pesos losses over the past 6 years due to fraud and overpayments. On Monday, the authorities arrested WellMed Dialysis Center's co-owner Brian Christopher C. on the charges of estafa, falsification of public documents, and violation of PhilHealth laws. PhilHealth, the main complainant, had filed 28 complaints against the bogus private dialysis center. WellMed's former employees Edwin Roberto and Lizelle Santos, who blew the whistle on the fraud scheme, were also arrested. But the whistleblower's legal counsel, former presidential spokesperson Harry Roque, appealed to the Justice Department to place them under the Witness Protection Program. Roque was the principal author of the House version of the Universal Healthcare Bill. Meanwhile, President Duterte asked the PhilHealth president and its board members to resign as he is planning for the agency's revamp. Hong Kong Chief Executive Carrie Lam has no plans to scrap the controversial bill that would amend the region's extradition law, which will allow suspected criminals to be sent to mainland China to face trial. This despite the massive protests that gathered more than 1 million people in the streets of Hong Kong to demonstrate against the proposed bill and called for Lam's resignation.
This is a very important piece of legislation that will help to uphold justice and also ensure that Hong Kong will fulfill her international obligation in terms of cross-boundary and transnational crimes.
Lam denied that she has ignored views from the public, saying that the government has closely listening to them. The Hong Kong leader and her key officials have defended the bill publicly. The move to amend the existing extradition law was prompted by the region's recent legal dilemma about the case of a Hong Kong man who allegedly killed his pregnant girlfriend in Taiwan in February last year. Among the proposed amendments are allowing extradition requests from authorities in mainland China, Taiwan, and Macau for suspects accused of murder and rape, among others. Hong Kong officials will decide on a case-to-case basis and they will have the final say over the matter. But various groups and even ordinary citizens said that the highly contentious bill will finally break Hong Kong's political freedom. Hong Kong, a former British colony, was reverted back to China on July 1997. The pride of Talisay City, Cebu, Gazini Ganados was crowned as this year's Miss Universe Philippines during the Binibining Pilipinas Coronation Night last Sunday at the Smart Araneta Coliseum. The 23-year-old beauty queen has some big shoes to fill, as her predecessor is no less than the reigning Miss Universe 2018, Catriona Gray. Gazini bested 39 candidates and also earned the Face of the Binibini or Miss Photogenic and the Best in Long Gown awards. Prior to joining the country's most prestigious pageant, she also joined Miss World Philippines in 2014 and other local pageants. The newly crowned queen, who grew up with her grandparents, is advocating elderly care. Meanwhile, among the title holders were also crowd favorites Bea Patricia Magtanong as Binibining Pilipinas International and Gazini's fellow Cebuana, Samantha Lo, as Binibining Pilipinas Grand International. Meanwhile, these are the top news of the week.
Commuters are expected to experience difficulty booking a ride with ride-hailing service Grab in the next few days, according to Grab Philippines President Brian Koo. This after 5,000 TNVs were deactivated after they failed to submit their proof of provisional authority from the LTFRB. A Grab drivers group also warned a higher surge fare following the deactivation of the 5,000 units. The World Health Organization warned about the likely increase in dengue cases in several countries in the Western Pacific region, including the Philippines this rainy season. WHO urges the dengue endemic countries to educate the people and health workers to recognize early symptoms of dengue. They also encouraged the concerned governments to clean up mosquito breeding sites to save lives. The Court of Appeals has ordered to freeze Kappa Community International's bank accounts and assets over the allegations that it operated the fraudulent investment scheme in the country, allegedly the largest investment scam in the recent Philippine history. The Appellate Court issued the order last June 4 upon the petition of the SEC and the AMLAC. It can be recalled that authorities raided Kappa ministry offices across the country after President Duterte ordered for its shutdown amid fraud allegations.
Let's take a quick recap of the MB Rundown for today, June 14. Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana wants a full investigation into the alleged boat collision in Recto Bank. For the third time, Vice President Leni Robredo leads the Independence Day riots in Luneta without President Duterte. National Bureau of Investigation starts probe into the alleged ghost dialysis center scam following President Rodrigo Duterte's order. Chief Executive Carrie Lam has no plans to scrap the controversial extradition bill despite the massive protests. And Talisay City, Cebu's pride, Gazini Ganados, crowned as this year's Miss Universe Philippines. And that's the MB Rundown. I'm Hannah Tabios.